Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Creator Metaphysical Store. Let me first bring in some light. It's a little better. I don't know what's wrong with my camera. Maybe it's just smudgy here. Oh, no, that's not it. Oh, wait, okay, whatever. We're just gonna make do with the lighting, guys. I'm super sorry about this. Um, Usually I have a light somewhere that's a little bit brighter, but I've been rearranging some stuff around, so I've lost track of a few things. So do apologize. I do apologize for that. So as you can see, today we'll be talking about protection and how to utilize protectional, protection against your enemies, both seen and unseen. Now, one of I will be giving you some instructions on something that you can make uh, to put for protection, but it's not necessary. I'm just a little complex with my uh, spell work. So, this is the item that I will be talking about. It is a protectional charm with some herbs and spices, which we'll get to in a moment. It is not completely finished. So that I can say it's not completely finished. So this is not the finishing touch. It's just part of it. Okay. So to start off, we're going to start with something small. So first thing you can use for protection are crystals. Egyptians really believed in tiger's eye in a lot of their protectional spells. Spell work, they used tiger's eye as protectional talismans. These was very highly prized because not only was it prized for protection, but they did have a particular reverence to the cats, and so it was very connected to Bast and Basset, Sekhmet, which are cats of healing. One segments for healing. Um, Bast is the goddess of all cats. Basset is the daughter of Bast, who's also of cats. So another thing that you can use for protection are candles. So my go-to for protectional candles for those who are appearing as light, but individually that this person isn't of the light, but has fooled everyone else around you, that they're this good, this awesome person, but there's something off about this person and you can't just put your finger on it. Um, you can use a white candle and just set the intention that whatever you can write the person's name on a slip of paper. You can have a photo of this person, and you can, as you're lighting the candle, you could say something like, um, "Whatever secrets you have shall come to light. Let your darkness be seen. Let your darkness be illuminated." And just to go off that. And I don't have any particular. Whenever I do spell work, it's always I do a lot of my best work when I fall into it, so it's like spur of the moment. Honestly, um, you can do a four corner protection spell, which requires the four elementals or four candles to represent them, which is orange for fire, water for is blue, air is yellow, and green is earth. You can take it a little step further and add the aspect of the purple for spirit, the white for the light, the black for the darkness, the red for chaos, and then you want to get a clear candle But those what I would recommend if you don't have a clear candle, get either a clear quartz or a clear calcite to place into center. Um, Basically, you'll want to have about this. I'm going to use this length of diagram. So you're going to have the fire in the south, the earth in the north, the water in the west, and the air in the east. And you want to put spirit, maelstrom, chaos, light, and dark. I usually put um, either the red candle in the center to represent the nine elemental dragon spirits, or I put the um, the red here, and I put the clear calcite or clear quartz there to represent the energy um, of the void, which is the energy that sits outside of the a multidimensional universe. Another great way that you can use for protection is talismans. You could just simply put um, something on a piece of paper just to affirm that you're protected from enemies both seen and unseen, and that will work as long as you use your heart. Your heart is your most powerful weapon against the darkness. That and your imagination. Um, you can make materialization jars. I sometimes they're called spell jars. And what these do, this one is designed to protect me against someone. I haven't finished it yet, but that's to protect me from her energies and you know. So what I do is I have two different kinds. I use ones where it has liquid and it's covered with wax and seals it up, or I use an earth-based spell jar, which is basically having crystals, herbs, spices, and then filling it up with wax. And sometimes, if I'm really drawn to, I put little points or crystals or whatever on top. So yeah, another good thing to have on hand if you want to protect yourself are hagstones. This is one type of hagstone. Another, and it's basically a stone that has a natural made hole in it. Hagstones must be found in nature, not in a store. Um, I believe it's the reason being is because it's made from the pure natural elemental energy. Therefore, it has a lot more strength. Now, this one has a hole in it, and it was made by the ocean. Shells, she shows that have holes in them work just as powerful as the ones of stone. Now, sometime like this one is one that I got, and it's a little jumpy. It's um, a clear quartz. It's a very beautiful one. So beautiful hagstone. Another good crystal to have for protection is black tourmaline, obsidian, and onyx. Anything that is black will help with your protection. Any the color black will help you with that protection. The if you For example, the color white is the absence of all color, including black itself. So you can work with the colors black and white to say, okay, I do not like, say for example, I wear a white shirt to symbolize I do not want any darkness, and then say I put black pants on, and I say okay, but also acknowledging that like basically white for the purification, but I'm just using the black for the black colored pants to symbolize extra protection. Um, Black is the absorption of all energy, so you could program like set the intention and just rub on your clothes and say, "I'm only absorbing positive energy. I'm only absorbing positive energy," and that will charge your clothes to absorb just positive energy, for example. Um, some herbs and other things that you could use. For example, it's called a witch's ball. They say this is really good for trapping evil spirits, and I use it a lot for whenever I feel certain presences and I don't know, they don't feel familiar. I make sure to trap them either in my witch's ball or my crystal ball. Now, not crystal ball, glass. Well, it's still no crystal ball, but it's made of glass. Glass is very porous, and if you spray after you've thoroughly mixed vinegar and salt, after you've thoroughly mixed this mixture, where the salt is completely gone, you want to spray your glass spirit, and you're gonna see if you have your third eye open and you look through your third eye, you're gonna start seeing the spear vibrate. The other thing is, if you want, you can just take a glass jar and you do the same mixture, but then what I want you to do is I want you to take your phone and let the phone sit over the lid, over like this, without the lid on it, okay? And you're gonna see as it after you've dissolved it and everything, you're gonna see the like bloop, 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 like this little ripples, and that spirit's being sucked into the mixture, and you're gonna start to see this crystallized energy, and you're gonna want to wait until for 3 days and 3 nights, just enough to crystallize them completely. What this does is it takes the negative, the evil spirits, and crystallizes them, making them light, so they no longer are darkness. Okay. Another good thing is to have brickyard dust or brickyard chips, um, and graveyard dirt. I will be making another video explaining on how to collect graveyard dirt. So we'll not wait just so we don't get off topic. Another good thing for protection is wearing talismans. Oops, sorry, excuse me. Talismans. For example, I made this for a friend of mine, so I'm going to use her necklace as an example, and you can see it has the evil eye on it, right? This the evil eye is used for protection. Um, though some people believe it's also used for conjuring evil. I personally believe it's good for protecting against evil. Um, Other talismans you could use is called the Sixth Pentacle of Mars, and it's a reference to King Solomon's magic. Um, Ritual and disclaimer: they don't sponsor me, but they do provide really good, awesome stuff. Ritual Pentacles, you can find them on Etsy. They offer the option to purchase the talisman either consecrated or not consecrated. The difference between the two different options is not consecrated means that it's not activated in the and apparently the only way that the according to the books that I've read on in my book, you have to go through a certain ritualistic rites of King Solomon in order to activate the talisman. I personally, when I get a talisman, they work for me. Like they work. Not saying they work for me as a servant, but they just work. I asked them, these spirits of these different talismans, why do you do the work you're supposed to, even if you're not consecrated? And they said it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's consecrated or not. What matters is your heart, and we will always listen. If you are seen in our eyes by your heart that you're worthy for our assistance, they will help you no matter what. The fact that I get mine consecrated just so that they're made in the way of the King Solomonic rites. Um, there are other ways you could do this. For example, you could do the lesser banishing ritual, which is basically the five elements: air, water, earth, fire, and light. So, first and foremost, you can do a meditation or um, a meditation where you imagine the elemental energy from your fingers going into your body, from your toes, because you got five fingers and five toes. You got five limb extensions. Your head, your two arms, and your two legs. That's five. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, right? 25. And what you're going to do is you're going to imagine for example, the elements of air, earth, and fire and light coming into the toes and your fingertips and intertwining into your torso. Okay, and then you're gonna imagine that there's an energy. Sometimes I use the golden white light, which is the healing purification light that I use. You can use a different ray of energy if you want to, and I imagine it coming down into where I'm building up the elemental energy, and then I say, for example, within my mind, or if you want to out loud, and I say, with these five elements, I create the ultimate protection, the ultimate resurrection of thou owned protection. So mote be, I declare it, create it, energize it. So mote be. You know. So with that being said, there are other ways. You could just say, for example, in the Wiccan tradition, they have the salamander to represent the fire in the south, the sylphs in the east to represent air, the merfolk to represent water in the west. I think I got those two mixed up, but regardless. And they have the gnomes or the dwarves in the um, north. What I like to do though is I'd like to take it a step further. I don't invoke the salamanders. I invoke the salamanders and the dragons of fire. I invoke then the merfolk and the dragons. And not the dragons. I invoke the um. Sorry, I lost track of thought. Yeah, I invoke the dragons, the serpents of the water. The sea serpents. I invoke. Then I go to the sylphs, and then I invoke the um. What I do is I invoke the um. Sorry, I don't know. I just kind of went blank. What was I was going to say? It was the sylphs. Oh, and then I invoke with the sylphs. I either invoke um the four elemental, the four wind gods. Boreas, Nodus, Ustus, Zephyr, Zephyrtus, Zephyr, whatever. um, I I do that. Um, I sometimes invoke the angelic beings because they're also of the energy of the air, or the Valkyries, whatever. Um, you can, and then for the north, what I do is I invoke the elven. So, and I invoke the dwarves, the gnomes, and the elvens, the sylphs. But then I go into the cloud nymphs and stuff. I could do that, but then I go into the sirens and the I mean the sirens, the merfolk and the sea serpents. Um, then I do the salamanders and the dragons of fire. So, but there are other ways I can do it too. But That's just one of the many ways. If you're a Christian or someone who believes in angels, you could use this. It's you invoke Archangel Michael in the south, you invoke Archangel Uriel in the north, Archangel Raphael in the east, and Archangel uh, Gabriel in the west. You can invoke Archangel Metatron above you, Archangel Xenophon below you, and then you want to invoke. I either invoke the Spirit of Man in the angelic tongue, the Malachim, or I invoke one of the many names of God that I have come across, like Iezema, or I invoke another angel. I usually invoke the seraphim Hanael. That's just my preference. Um, I think that we've covered everything so far. Oh, the as far as herbs go, graveyard dirt is really good. Magical tools go graveyard dirt, brickyard dust or chips. If you can get an arrow root, like a bow and arrow root, and you mix that with graveyard dirt and brickyard dust, that will create a powerful protectional sachet. You can use mojo bags to create protectional sachets. Um, it doesn't have to be a mojo bag. You could just probably, like, say, for example, if you live in a house and you could sprinkle all this around the circumference of your house. That's to protect your house, your yard. And with that being said, you put. I would recommend putting the intention that come rain or shine, uh, come rain or shine, light or dark, whatever elements that come this way, it only increases and foundates what I have done this very day, and that is protection. That's something you can do as an intention after the fact. I always use, though, when I do protection spells or boundary spells, I use the resurrection plant called the Herb of Jericho for the energy of resurrection and the Felix energy. So I'm gonna explain to you what this is because I was talking about this in the beginning. Um, what I used for another good one before I get really into this is driftwood. Driftwood's really good for protection. If you don't have graveyard dirt, get some driftwood. Petrified wood will also work, but if driftwood is preferred, if you're trying to make a mixture like more use a mortar and pestle, the petrified wood won't work for that. So what I used for this mixture of herbs is I used the graveyard dirt, the brickyard dust, driftwood. I used a little bit of coffee, paprika, cinnamon, and trying to think what else I used. I used coffee, cinnamon, paprika, graveyard dirt, brick dust, um, driftwood, and I added a little bit of garlic to this. Okay, I still have a little bit left, so I'm adding some salt now into this, and I'm gonna add a few granules of garlic. I use either the garlic powder, but my preference is fresh garlic that's been dried and then grounded into a fine powder. I prefer to have I prefer to dry my herbs in the sun because of and the moon energy. That way, it has that silver and lunar energy as well. And what I'm gonna do with this is I'm gonna make a sachet out of this. Um, so with that being said, I use the same mixture minus the salt and the garlic powder I just used. No, I did use the garlic powder, excuse me, for this. So I sprinkled it. If you can look on the back, it looks like a cross. So what I did was I sprinkled across the cross, like so, down and across. And I covered the entire um, face of this to it it because of the soot it looks gray, but it's white wax. Okay, white to symbolize the to reference the energies who are in the light, pretending to be the light, pretending to be good, but they're evil. To represent those who are my enemies in the darkness, my enemies in the light, and the enemies who just want to cause chaos and mischief in my life. So, what I'm going to do with this is I'm letting it charge for 3 days and 3 nights on a altar of a particular being that I work with. Her name is Hecate, and I'm also Archangel Haniel is with this. I also included into this. Seraphim Haniel, excuse me. I included the two different feathers, and I covered one with white and one with black to symbolize the angelic protection as well. Also, I feel that I invoke the angels of darkness, meaning destruction, death, ruin, decay, whatever, so that if there's anyone that comes my way to threaten me, they will jump into action. Then I invoke those of purification, healing, transmutation, transformation, just all good, powerful energy. And I said if they after they are done, after the angels of destruction, ruin, decay, whatever energy is left over, I want you to purify, cleanse, and heal that energy and send it back to source. And then I made sure that those just the same thing right there. So what you got with this being said is I'm gonna have take the wax off, and I'm gonna reuse the wax, because I like to use wax for intention candles, old wax, and this would be good for a protection banishing candle. This stuff energy right here. So it has to sit for one more day on my altar. I just take it off for this video. Another good way for protection, if I didn't mention it before because I don't remember, it's candles. You can get candles that have like saints, um, Jesus Christ, Mary Magdalene, all kinds. So you can also purchase my protectional oil. Now, it will include the brickyard dirt, the graveyard dirt, the arrowroot, and I will be adding the coffee, cinnamon, and the paprika to amplify that energy. It will be steeped in Hydron the Conqueror root, and as well as the Hydron the Conqueror, and it will have Adam and Eve root as well. So just letting you know that those are going to be. That's something I can't. I have. I do have a limited supply, but I can provide. I want to say with this amount, at least 20 bottles worth right now. I'm going to the store tomorrow to purchase some more oil. So, with that being said, I do hope you find these different suggestions of protection to be really helpful. Um, I will be coming back within a few hours, and I will be doing a pick a card pile. Uh, so please be look on the lookout for that. It will. The topic for the pick a card pile will be about the what you need to know about the upcoming month in August. It's like an August 2022 prediction, and this will be your like reading and what you could expect. Now, with that being said, Much love. Namaste.